Hmm.
Here we are as men. And one of the things that God calls us to do is to lead and to guide. Can you even start that in dating? Being a leader, knowing what God has for you, and trying to set the precedent and the tone for the relationship.
I've never been told how to be a man. I grew up in a single-parent home. So, all my leadership, came from a woman. So now I'm looking, the reference points was the streets.
I grew up in a similar kind of environment where I didn't see any kind of godly example of what being a father was. And it was always, how many women have you slept with?
On that, like our culture and everything that we're kind of presented with in the media is, relationships are about us. It's all about self. What can I get out of this? What can this girl give me? And as Christians, we're called to lay down our lives. We're called to serve.
A great leader is someone intelligent enough to know that if you don't have the answer, it's okay to humble yourself to your woman and say, hey, I don't have this answer, bro. How about we figure it out together?
Leadership is about empowering the woman in your life. Biblical leadership is empowering. It gives away power to make the other person be more. But of course, we want them to be more in the ways of God.
Leading your family is about more than saying, this is what you're going to do, and this is where you're going to go, and this is what's going to happen. Being a leader is really much more about being a servant. It's about dying to the things that I want and providing for the needs of my family. So many single guys spend their time out there looking for the right one, that one woman that's going to make them happy for the rest of their lives. And I submit to you that they're doing it all wrong. That you don't go out and look for the right one. You spend time becoming the right one. You become the man that will attract the woman that you need. I don't know how many men I've talked to who've said, I deserve to be happy. Says who? You don't deserve to be happy. You deserve to live up to your obligations. You deserve to live out the mission for which you were created. And if you'll do that, you'll find yourself more fulfilled than you will in any other way. But if you go out in search of happiness, all you're going to find is meaninglessness. A true man is going to try to live up to the standard of manhood as set forth in the Bible. You cannot be a man. You can't even start down the road to manhood until you are submitted to your Creator and to His purpose for your life. How often we as men offer nothing to the Lord except those things which are just worthless to us. We give Him the scraps of our time. We give God the scraps of our attention instead of giving Him the majority of our heart. What I wanted to do was give my sons a measuring stick, if you will, a standard to look at so that when they ask themselves that question, do I have what it takes to be a man? They'll know what it means to be a man. They'll know what a man looks like, okay, so they can conform themselves to that shape. And actually, we use the acronym SHAPE to come up with the foundational precepts of manhood. S stands for submission. When we give God our whole heart, when we submit ourselves to Him, then we get the great power that the Holy Spirit gives us to take dominion over the world around us. H stands for honor. A man has to know what is important and what's not important and treat things accordingly. A stands for assess and improve. A man has to always be looking around him and saying, how can I improve this situation? How can I make things better? And also, how can I improve myself? P stands for perish and provide. A man, when a boy becomes a man, he moves from that mindset of what's in it for me. What am I going to get out of this situation? And he moves into a mindset of, what can I do to provide for the needs of others? It's not about what I want. It's about what others need. The last thing, the E, stands for engage. He has to engage in his relationships and engage in the society and engage with his finances, engage with his body, and actually do the things that are necessary. All of those things start on the inside and flow outward, every one of those. When it comes to young women, I think it's vitally important that we train our daughters to recognize a true man. I don't care if he's the nicest guy on the planet, if he's wealthy, if he's, beautiful. I don't care what he is, but if he is not submitted to his creator, you don't want him. That's all there is to it, because there will be nothing in his life greater than himself. He will be the end all and be all of his own existence, and you're a toy, you're a trinket that he's trying to collect. That's all there is to it. A guy that is following those 5 facets of manhood is going to be passionate about his life. He's going to be passionate about the purpose for which it was created. And that passion makes him powerful.